Hey everybody, I just did an interview with Gabriel Pyron, the person who did the amazing color restoration hacks for the Sega Genesis, including the newly released Street Fighter Special Champion Edition restoration. And we also asked Smoke Monster to be on as well in case there was any translation issues or language barriers, but to be honest, everything flowed pretty smoothly. Now, English is not Gabriel's first language. I had no problem at all understanding him. Although, if you're a native English speaker and you don't have friends with accents or you didn't grow up with friends with accents, you might have a hard time. So, hopefully, we could try to update some subtitles or something at some point. But for the rest of us, sit back, relax, and listen to the Gabriel talk about his amazing work with color restoration on the Sega Genesis. Hey everybody, we are here with Gabriel Pyron and Smoke Monster. We're very lucky to have Gabriel here to talk about some of the color hacks he's done, as well as this full Street Fighter restoration, which absolutely blew me away. So thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us, Gabriel. I appreciate it.
Hi guys. It's very nice to be here with two amazing guys that I follow so a long time. Smokey, I know him for a long time. I can know for me he's like a personal friend because I talk to him a lot. And Bobby, I follow you, man, for a long years because you do amazing stuff to community. So guys, it's amazing to be here today. So thank you to having me.
Thanks. It's funny
Yeah,
because
it's
both of us have been following you for a pretty long time as well. So I think the three of us have at least known
yeah.
or known of each other for quite a long time. And this is the first time I got a chance to speak with you. So this is cool. Just before we continue, I want to let everybody know that we're crossing 3 different time zones here. So the Skype delay is probably going to be a lot worse than usual. We're going from West Coast US all the way to East Coast US, all the way to Portugal, right? So
Yeah, and also, guys, if you are hearing me now, first of all, sorry because I'm not native English speaker. My English sucks. I'm gonna try my best here. So, guys, sorry in advance. Okay, let's go.
No, it sounds great. Are you Brazilian? You're Brazilian, right?
Yes, I'm from Brazil.
And then how did you end up in Portugal?
Man,
Work or
because I'm no, because I'm from Rio de Janeiro, and Rio de Janeiro is an amazing place. But everything you heard about the bad things on Rio de Janeiro is true, but it much more horse than you speak. Who lives there, like me? I have my work. I work with IT, but I have to cross the country for do a lot of jobs. I pass so bad things, man, and before I die, I say, well, I have to go out.
yeah.
So it's an amazing place, but have a lot of big problems. So I comes to Portugal.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of yours too, as Bob said, going way back. And I have a funny story because I always say that Pyron's my favorite ROM hacker, and it's true. And if people don't know, you have almost, I'm counting right here, 30 pretty amazing ROM hacks just that I have on my Genesis folder. But going back to like when I first started doing the EverDrive pack list, everybody was like, so I have this really standardized way of doing my system, kind of like a library. And then right in the root of the Genesis pack, I used to have a Pyron folder, just because they're my favorite. And that's the only kind of oddity that survived through my EverDrive pack list. I changed it at some point. I just call it color restorations. But it's basically a Pyron folder in the root of the Mega EverDrive setup, just out of respect.
yeah.
So, nice, man. Nice. I love it. Thank you.
Those are actually the
Yeah,
only versions of those ROMs that I'll play anymore. So
yeah, me too.
occasionally I'll forget which ones you've done, and I'll just go right into Smoke's folder and go, oh yeah, all right, cool. But Outrun, I love Outrun. I always end up playing that. I own an arcade machine. It's at a friend's house, but I play it on
Nice.
Genesis. I play it at, whenever I get a chance to, and I always end up using the color restoration one.
Yeah, I default to those too. because the Genesis had that weird thing where they're awesome freaking games, but then they were just a little bit like gritty for especially for the arcade games where the arcade game is bright and beautiful and colorful, and then you go to the Genesis version and it's just like they made it grungy on purpose or something. Is that what's going on, Pyron, or was it just a lack of attention to detail in some places, do you think?
I think it's a lot of bad things going on the same time. So if you look up the Japanese titles from the Mega Drive, if you got the first ones like Space Harrier 2, is not run at 60 frames on the gameplay wise, but if you look at the graphics, the colors, the gradients, the pastel tones, very well done. You had the Altered Beast. Later you got the Capcom ports like Ghosts and Ghosts. You got Strider, for me it's amazing. For 8 megabits is a amazing port. So it got a lot of Japanese titles, even the original ones, SWAT, Revenge of Shinobi. It's very amazing use of the hardware. But the Sega is in bad shape because everyone know about the Nintendo politics. So the biggest Japanese developer is just on Nintendo side, and Sega has to outsource a lot of its projects like Outrun. So it's not people very experienced in making games, even more making on a limited platform because Mega Drive really has color limitation just for palettes, etc. Everybody knows this. So when you put these projects on the hands of less capable people, even more in the limited hardware, they don't have creativity, the care, the the expertise to make something good. So it got a lot of titles with problems. Even some data east titles that very small cartridges, so you had uh, they cut everything to fit the memory, like the Serran, where you color is fit like Midnight Resistance, Captain America, and the Avengers. You had just four fixed parts for entire game, and they don't know how to solve this problem and fuck the game until the end, man. Destroy everything. So it's
Yeah, you
very
have a really good color hack of Captain America too. For people, a lot of people are critical of that game, but you got to check out Pyron's version of it. It's really good.
yes, I love this game.
Mm-hmm.
So the root of the problem is just the simplest way to say it is that there was more colors available in the arcade, and when they ported it to the Genesis, they weren't as skilled as somebody with enough knowledge to know how to make the colors look the same with a limited palette.
Yes, it's one. I think it's the one of the reasons. The second one, you know that the composite video output to the Mega Drive is not so good. And when Japanese developers try to put his games there, I don't know if at the time they have better dev kits. I never gonna notice, but they had another type of approach. And the Occidental ones try to saturate the colors a lot to try drag attention of the audience, like some uh, home hackers out there do the same, try to put every detail in your face, try to saturate the colors a lot, try for me to just show that Mega Drive is not capable to do their job because if you saturate a lot of colors, you don't can see detail on the screen, and the out colors just not colors because the colors you make the deepness of the background you had you show is how do you show how you pop up the details, how you pop up your sprites. So the colors and the lighting is everything to the game. Even more if it's a pixel art game. So you have to take a lot of care when you put your colors, the contrast, the brightness. So it's a artistic choice. And I say, like I said before, you see a huge difference between the Occidental developers and the Oriental ones. It's a huge difference. Of course, the nature of Mega Drive life cycle, when the Sega bring the companies that make some titles to Amiga, Atari ST, the European guys are a lot more capable. So they try to make some quality to the market. So I think make the thing better. I don't know if I explained well.
No,
Sorry.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
makes sense to me. Do
Yeah.
you remember the first color hack that you did? Like, what got you started into it?
My first color hack is Search of Rage 2, I think. At the time, I don't have most any acknowledgement of the subject. I make it using a tool to edit the sheets of the game, because this sheet tool get a lot all information you got on the screen. You can see the information, you can change it. At the time, I'm very newbie, so this tool had the silver values. So well, I got the color values in this tool, so I can reach using the hex editor inside the room. And the Sega game is very well oriented, so everything I see on the this device, I can seek on the room and change the values and try to mix. And I just a little touch. I try to make Street of Rage 2 more like a New Deal and arcade game with more vibrant colors. It's a very how I say, super hack, but I liked it because it's a lot more vivid. Just to test. It was my first rack at the time.
And what do you use when you work nowadays? What do you work from when you're editing colors and things? Is it hex editing?
Just the hex, just a hex editing tool and a debugger,
Wow.
nothing more.
Because
I tried everything along the time. I go in homehack.net. If some guy heard me now, I download every tool existent in this site. I test one by one. I read the documentation of each application, because you don't have a right steps to follow. You have to make your own steps. So I test everything. I try of everything. For graphics, I use the Tiny Layer Pro nowadays, but I just use every one out of the market. And you just to try, man, to have to make your way to do the stuff. What making I think easier to me, because I know very well how the Mega Drive works. If you had to hack something, you had to know how the console works. So for me, it's very easy. I can know where the things I want to change where, how it works. So it's make it everything a lot more easier. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Yeah. So you've done so many of these that you just know exactly where in the hex editor to look for the values. And then you probably have a preview window in an emulator, so when you change the hex values, you can see the colors change. And I mean, that's a ton of work to go through and edit every one of those for each section of those games.
Yes, nowadays a lot more easy. Nowadays, if you download the Exodus emulator, it had amazing debugger. You had debugger for everything, man. It's decrypt on real time. You had the periodics of the layers, periodics of the sprites. You had the window that show the action screen of the game. But in my time when I start to do this, don't have a good debugger into this aspect. I have to save state the game and analyze every data on save state, because he's got all information on the screen that in that particular screen that I want to hack. So make it more easy to find what I want there. And another cool thing about the Mega Drive, since we had limitation color values, because we had a fewer master palette, Just to see the value, I know cheese is the color. I know that I can change its value just to see if well, it's a its value is a color, or is the background mapping. It's more easy to me to change. So it's more like that.
That's pretty cool. What a neat idea of using save states so that you could just jump right back in. I'm sure using the debuggers is so much easier, but that's pretty cool. That's a good idea.
Yes, on the time I think the only emulators had some type of debugger is the gens or uma modification of the gens. The gens K mod is not so popular on the time. It started to show some vessels. Emulators like Blast don't exist. Gens R67 don't exist. Results don't exist. Nothing exists. Just Fusion, Gens, and some Russian hacked verse of Gens. Just so don't have nice debuggers like nowadays. Nowadays a lot more easier. So because it's user have to use a lot of save stations and try to look at the values on the hex editor, try to find some type of values and something like that. But I don't know. Is for me it's a good exercise to discover. It's like a therapeutic actions to me. So since I like it very much of Mega Drive games, I don't care.
So Smoke,
And you've
sorry,
so
go
far.
ahead, Smoke.
Sorry, I was going to ask. You've only worked ever in Mega Drive games, right? You've never. Have you done anything on any other consoles or platforms or anything?
I had to already had a lot to do a lot of things on PC because I work with IT. Since I'm very young, I'm trying to make something on PC because PC is a cool platform to teach. So I did a lot of maps to Doom, Duke Nukem 3D, Carmageddon, uh, racing games, a lot of tracks and something like that on inside of the editors of the game of the community, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started to make something to Mega Drive because smoking. I think everyone today have know that Brazil is a very problematic economically, so everything here is very
I thought you were going to
expensive.
say that because everyone knows that Brazil is a Sega country. That's what I thought was coming.
Oh my God, yeah. And it's very hard to everyone here at the time had more than one console at the same time. If you had two consoles at the same time, the people say that you are a rich man because it's very expensive to maintain two consoles. So the majority of the people like me had to sell the old video games to try buy the newer one. So at the time, past some times, I don't had nothing in my house, nothing the console that I beloved in the past, and I want to buy it back. So when started the Xbox 360, I started to play these games, and in fact I bored because the game is bigger, soundtracks don't drag me more. I don't know. I don't like. It has nice graphics, but very well. Mega Drive, Dreamcast, Saturn is much better for me. So I tried to buy back to consoles, but in Brazil it's very hard to find in good shape because the people here at the time really don't care about the old consoles.
And it's
And
so humid. So humid, everything.
yeah,
Like when I was looking for, I was trying to track down consoles when I lived in Brazil, and they'd always be really rusty, or just like it's like the heat and humidity doesn't really lend well to electronics keeping for a long time, and they were played to hell.
it don't have this type of culture of preservation of the old things. The people just sell like a trash or throw away at the time. And I try to go back to buy this console because I really like to play them, and I don't really like to play in emulators. I think the feeling is very different. The feedback is very different. So I want to go back, but for me at the time, even try to to import to the games is very expensive. Until our friend Chris announced his first ever drive to Mega Drive, the Mega Drive. I think, man, it's the time to going back to the business. It's the time to try to buy everything back. So when the Chris start to really start to launch the 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 flash card, for every new flash card that he launches on the market, I buy the console because for a while now I can play everything in the how can I say in the way I can buy
Mm-hmm.
and the entire library. So when I come back to the community, Sega 16, the Atari Age, and other forums, when I'm gonna see what the people are talking at the time, even the Sega guys saying, "Well, this game looks like a crap because the Mega Drive fall. Mega Drive sucks in the colors department. The artists behind this game, you don't have nothing uh, to do." And I say, "Well, it's a lie." And I try to make someone to try change it. Say, well, guys, we can try to remake teeth into the colors. We show the examples. The people, well, it's don't work. It's a lot of job. It's impossible. You're gonna take, I don't know, a year to do this. It's just a game. I don't know. For a while, if nobody wants to do it is I go do to myself. So it's where everything starts.
That's exactly how so many of us started the projects that we ended up doing in life. Is just you look around and it's no one else is doing it. You know it needs to be done, and you go, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Smoke, you have a list of the different hacks over there. Do you have some of your favorites that you think you want to talk about?
Yeah. It's hard to pick. I guess so. I'm like Bob. Like if I'm gonna play one of these games, I default to the Pyron version. But like TMNT Hyperstone Heist is a really good one. That Captain America. I like the ones that change the game the most too. So and Darius 2, the enhanced colors, even like and I like to stack your hacks too. I'm kind of play Jenga with hacks. I'll stack hacks together until I break things. So I'll take like My Jet is probably my second favorite ROM hacker of all time, and he has a Twinkle Tail retranslation that he did, and you can stack the Pyron enhanced colors on top of that one and combine them. And it usually works. Doesn't always work to stack hacks like that, but I did that too with like Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. You can stack it with that Z80 hack by Steph, which gives you like better voice effects and stuff. And even just things like the like games that are great already and beautiful that are just a little bit better, like Lion King looks fantastic. The Pyron version, Castlevania Bloodlines, it's fantastic. And yeah, like Bob said, Outrun, and all those arcade games. Just because like Pyron said, for whatever reason, certain arcade games they just didn't get the colors right. I mean, they're just way off in some cases.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could list every single game here that you've done. I pretty much love the Double Dragon. I took yours and I like to stack them with like the no scroll or the scrolling hacks. There's two of those. That's a pretty cool one.
I really like combining hacks, like you're saying too. Like I think it takes so much work from so many different members of the community and just changes the game drastically. And it's just even like I think the first Genesis Plus game that I think I don't know if I downloaded it or if you sent it to me, Smoke, but it had the Pyron hack and the Genesis Plus music. So it had the better colors and the arcade music. So that, stuff like that, it's really cool as well. I'd love to see that with Street Fighter, especially with, I'd love to see the color hack, the enhanced vocals hack, the Z80, and the actual music from the arcade. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Street Fighter patch is from 2000 and 2050 to no 2030, and it's a nice combination of things because it's one of my first run hacks because the people say, well, I have to hack Street Fighter. So when I started to hack Street Fighter and I finished my first version, the people said, "Well, now it just had to fix the voices, man, to get be perfect." And the staff at the time on Sega 16, I think he heard everyone claiming to do this, and he creates his legendary audio patch that solved the problem of the buff Street Fighters. So it's like a community joined together to make something great. It is Street Fighter One is one of my favorite games. It's because one of my least attack I'm gonna do because it's just a farewell letter to me to the fans because it's a game that had so much love involved that uh, grow and join all the right people together, the community, and make something so great, man. It's so great. He he Street Fighter with the correct voice, with no problems anymore. Steph is a god. I love this guy.
Yeah, that's an awesome hack. And it's using like what he did, he pulled in the arcade voices and he has the Z80 doing the processing for it or something. Is that how that worked?
Um, if I remember well, the voices on the cartridge is the same of the original. The only thing he makes is make the Z80 make the cache of the voice before start the sample.
Okay.
Because the main problem behind of the sound of Street Fighter is when the Z80 starts to get the voice and starts to play the voice on the ROM, the 68000 interrupted it because they have a priority of the everything. So, like I said, it's like your wife. You're doing something, your wife scream. You have to stop everything to make attention. So, what the dive does is, well, the your wife in the middle of this thing, we try to take together. We try to treat this sample to pre not don't know pre not start for his it not stop to play, and he got the interruption in the middle. He got the distortion because it's you hear the voice like a crap. So the staff make the cache to the Z8. So when the CPU sends the command to play the voice sample, the voice is stored on the driver RAM, the sound RAM, it just plays. So it stops the problem.
And is that there was a Altered Beast voice hack like that too, right? Is that using the Z80 for that as well? Which you can stack with Pyrons, by the way. Is Altered Beast alternate style colors.
This one is made by Linkway, and it just changed the voice sample.
Okay.
Nothing. Just change the voice sample. A lot more easier.
Cool.
So you recently
It's
just
cool.
sorry.
It's cool. Which is very cool because show that the Mega Drive can fit the same sound sample from the arcade.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the big release that you just had was your remastered special champion edition. You put the video out on it. There was some narration in the beginning. I think I recognized the voice on that, and and it was a very cool story about growing up in the arcades and seeing it, and then wanting the Genesis version to look and feel the same way. Awesome video, amazing hack. I mean, you've been working on that for over 4 years, right?
Yes. Of course, I'm not working this project in full time
Mm-hmm.
because I had a lot of things in between of the project. I had the game that I'm doing from Mega Drive. I had the Shinobi project. I got Battletoads. I got a lot of another side projects between. It's cool because it keeps your mind fresh and you discover another solutions for some problems. But is I put a lot of time and love into this project because I really want to restore every texture that the Capcom erased from the Mega Drive version. If you look at the ports, put side by side, it's got all shades on present on PC Engine version. It got some more in almost all shades present in Super Nintendo version. It got a lot of new details, some personal choices, the artistic choice from my side to make it not look so repetitive, so I don't know, so monochromatic in colors. Try to make it more vivid and make the shades blend together, fit together, for the people can see every detail in the pixel art. So it's for me, it's a good job. Uh, but it's a lot of personal touches like the life bar, the new fonts, etc.
Yeah, that's an awesome video. People haven't seen it; they should check it out. Basically, it shows almost that you've redone pretty much every single asset in the game, and you have a really cool split screen where you show the original on one side and your new version on the other. And in every case, you're just kind of cheering it on because it's such a great change,
It's a bastard job because if you see if you see some like the characters if you compare the characters, the sprite animation, I do a lot of another changes, but it's impossible to show it in one video. But like you see the cane hair that now had the same movimentation of the arcade. You got the real belt. I don't know how to speak it in English. Hair belt. I don't know. Had the
hairband, yeah.
hairband, yeah. The movement restored. The belt of in the clothes have the same movement on the arcade because when we bring back to the consoles, they simplify a lot of the animation. It's a much more static to lose all the movements of the arcade. So some sprites had more colors on the every any other part like Sagat is missing colors on his shorts on every console version. So I put a lot. I revised every frame of animation, like and put some details that only the guy have. How can I say eye to details and is a arcade hat like me gonna say well he put this detail from the arcade. It's cool, man. So something like that.
Yeah, you build up so much details that you need a magnifying glass to see everything. But it's the overall effect that's so impressive with the game. Such a huge transition.
Absolutely. And you had to every animation, so every frame of every animation in the game you had to make the same edits to. It's not like you could just make one edit and apply it to the rest. You would have to go in there and in every single scene, every time there's a pre-programmed animation or scene, you would have to start from scratch for each one, right? Editing the hex and going through.
It's more harder because the sprite is storage on the hand on in tiles. It's 8 pixel tiles. It's a mini blocks like this. Everything is a mess inside the room, so you have to align and create the each frame of the sprite to see how it looks, and it did so because it's impossible to make some animation without seeing the entire thing on the on your face. So I have to rebuild every sprite on the ROM and edit frame by frame. Because of this, I spent so much time on, on it, about 4 years.
That's like, so you like doing puzzles in your spare time? Isn't that pretty much what it is?
Yeah, man, it's very difficult. In the most, you have to do the same with the background because most of detail you see in the final version is because I had to make the automatic job manually because usually what every game does is you take a single image or you take a tile set to create your game and you had a script to try optimize to fit in the run in the video run. But if something is different, you're gonna take the same size. For example, you got one tile to 1 pixel. You got this take the same size of any other tile. So a lot of optimization is, well, if you had just 1 pixel, I can put this pixel lower, and I had another free tile. So I revise all the tiles of every background to have free memory to insert more details. So it's a lot of job too. So
So
take a
there's a
lot of
lot of
time.
optimizing in addition to just this color stuff that we see.
Yeah, because of this, I think it's much better nowadays to make your game because to remake other people's jobs without a proper tool is if I had some tool that take all information of the ROM and build like you see in the game to me make the proper edits, it's gonna be easier. I'm gonna make it a lot more fast, but it don't exist magic. You have to do everything manually, so take a lot of time. And man, it's a bastard works just for fanboys like me and other guys, of course.
You know, you mentioned the backgrounds. When I first saw the video and I first started to play with the ROM, the first things you notice are the characters right away because you know those are very improved. But it took a few minutes. But then I looked up and I realized all of the backgrounds are better. And then when you know when watching your video, especially seeing them side by side like that, there were some like I took a screenshot which I'll include in the description here for everybody. But there was one the original version was like all washed out. You couldn't even see the backgrounds, and then your version you actually see the definition of sky and clouds and stuff. And it was a huge difference for such a small detail in the background. I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, and I take care to test everything on RGB, on real hardware, because emulators is some have some different color ramp.
Mhm.
Uh, it's not 100% accuracy. When you're gonna play your real game, real hardware is a bit different. So I take care of this. And you had like I said before, not just put colors. You had to try to blend the shades and make the contrast, every shade to make the pixel art looks and blend very well together. So I take this care. And my main goal is not to make it like some guys doing. It's like arcade because it's impossible. You take the CPS one resolution much higher than the console port. So I think the pixel art of the Capcom is excellent on PC Engine and Super Nintendo, and I try to of course insert newer details like the blank stage. Even in Super Nintendo, the sky is a solid color. I don't know why.
Mhm.
It's a solid color. So if you play the remastered version, you're gonna see uh, much more gradients on the sky. Try to follow the same lighting level of the arcade. I can put a lot of more colors there, but artistic choice, I think, is much better than the way that I did. Real stage is another one, and I make another change. Like I can make it a lot more brighter than it really is. But I think on console on video games on Mega Drive, and to make the impression, the sensation that you fighting on the night, and because the color ramp is not too great like the arcade, I from purpose I make it a lot more dark than code is, because we have deepness on the background. You can see the things a lot. You can see the old house far from the background. If different of level of contrast of the main background, and you have another layer between these two layers, que had the half of the brightness. So I think it make a cool perspective on the scenery. So it's type of the mix and the I don't know, the personal choice, because I can know very well the Mega Drive platform, and I think it's true the Mega Drive platform choice is better than follow the arcade one by one. So it's type of the change.
Well, I definitely, I probably haven't even noticed every detail yet. I think there's so much enhancements done. I gotta go back and watch that video again and just really absorb it, because there's so much that goes into that.
And so when you did, like, you've done a few other fighting games, Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury 2, Samurai Showdown. Were those as big of a job as the Street Fighter, or is this kind of your masterpiece that you really, because it sounds like you couldn't have spent 4 years on every single one. Is this one that you're really kind of obsessing over?
The other projects in fighting games, just because like Art of Fighting, for me the Mega Drive version looks good in general on default, but I say, well, it's the like leads, the color choice is very different from the arcade. I don't know why. It's green on Mega Drive. Why is green? Why leads green on Mega Drive? Don't make sense. So I thought, well, I can put it like the arcade. So I make the pad, because I can do the pad to look like the arcade. Fatal Fury 2 is an amazing game. I think the Mega Drive port is amazing. The music is amazing. But the game is so dark, it's so lifeless. Well, I can make it more closer to the arcade, more vivid colors, better shading to the platform. But the Street Fighter, like I said before, I think it's, for me, it's like the end of the cycle, because for now or for a long time I don't want to make home hacks anymore. So it's like my farewell for the fans, for the Mega Drive community for now, because I had a lot of projects that I had to draw all my attention to it. I don't at the time in my life, I started a new life here in Portugal. I don't have more time to do a lot of jobs anymore. I have to focus on my life and just one project. So, gonna be it.
Totally understandable.
Yeah.
What a way to go out,
That's
though.
a good way to go out.
Apparently, we both agree.
Yeah. There's I think the Brazilians really like Street Fighter and King of Fighters, it seems like. Even so I lived in Brazil for about almost 6 years, about 5.5 years altogether. And when I was first dating my wife, we would go to this arcade in a little town, and she was kind of like a badass at Street Fighter 2, just plain Jane.
Wait 1 minute. In the first date, you go to arcade with your wife?
Not first date, but when I first met her, yeah. She's kind of and her thing was she was really good with Chun-Li, and she could just kind of mop the floor with the regulars. She has a funny story about the guy who's really good at Street Fighter, who was there beating everybody, and she jumped on, and he just couldn't beat her. He just kept putting quarters in, and like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever, until he finally won. Just because
now I know why you fall in love with her, man.
Yeah. And still to this day, like, that arcade just closed last year, and King of Fighters was huge there still, and that original Street Fighter they had put LCD monitors in, and it all looked like crap. But the the arcades seem to be going strong in Brazil still, at least for fighting games,
Yeah.
from what I could
It's
tell.
a cool story. A cool story behind this because SNK it has a distribution, official distribution marketing here in Brazil, in São Paulo. So you got the original machines, you got the Portuguese games. If you had Neo Geo with multi-bios, you can change the location. You can see Portuguese. It's messy, it's wrong script, but for us Brazilian guys, you can see Robert speaking Portuguese on the game is amazing. And the Brazilian guys really loves King of Fighters. It's a huge game. Every corner has a King of Fighter machine, so it's huge at the time. Because also it's very more easy to make a parity version, a clone version of the board. So another reason.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this arcade had like behind their counter they had stacks of mostly bootleg Neo Geo cartridges that people could request to swap out or whatever for a different game, but it's pretty cool. That kind of stuff is on the way out, I guess, in most places. Although New
Yeah.
York has a really good fighting scene, and I'm sure Sao Paulo probably really does too. That's where it seems like Sao Paulo is kind of the heart of retro gaming in Brazil, at least from what I could tell.
Yes, São Paulo is huge, and it's very the infrastructure in the country is the better. So the all the tech things comes to São Paulo first. The big company was there, like SNK. Capcom for a long time was in São Paulo too, make some distribution of the games. And man, Brazilian loves arcades. Like me, I grow in arcades. I just love Mega Drive because it's the first video game console that bring the arcade to my home. And songs like the arcade, the games play like the arcade. So for the first time, I my first priority is the console because after that, uh, consoles is a second, third place. If I had money, go to the arcade because it's very different here. The consoles arrived in different time. So when Atari VCS comes to Brazil, we had arcades a lot better. So it's a huge difference. It's like day and night. So I don't know. I don't want to. I love play Atari, but if I could play Ghosts and Goblins, if could play uh, Black Tiger or something like that, I gonna go. I go to arcades. I'm gonna play Pac-Man in my Atari. No, I want to go to arcades. So later on, you got the Famicom clones.
Mhm.
It's a step over, but not compares to arcades also. When Mega Drive arrives and you got the Tectoy behind that make an amazing job, you got commercials on TV, you got mass distribution, so every hint store had a lot of Mega Drive titles. It's very easy to hit a game, to rent a game. You have a lot of options, and Tectoy bring a lot of titles that's exclusively from Japan, make a excellent job in localization from like Turma da Mônica, which is Wonder Boy. They also make the same with the Master System. So when Mega Drive comes out, man, everyone freaking your mind. It's an amazing console in the right time, in the for your culture. It's amazing.
Yeah, and there's that it seemed like it was really big in Brazil where you could go to a place and play games on a console and you kind of pay by the hour.
Yes.
And I remember seeing a Genesis. I mean, still back in like 2006, they had a Genesis where you could theoretically play it. And even like when I walked around, right up until I'm trying to think the last time I saw him, maybe 2016, walking around at market stalls, you would see Master System controllers sometimes in Brazil. PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 bootleg discs are still sold like at the beaches and stuff. It's pretty, you got to respect it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Also, until I think until PlayStation 2 is very very huge this type of business for you paid some time to pay hour to play video games because PlayStation has Pass, né? Uh, uh, in Brazil, another very popular football game. Brazilian football is soccer.
Mhm.
So he loved football, and the peoples make the Bomba Pet. The Bomba Pet is you hack the game, you put the actual team, the actual players' names, just a hack update of the game.
And they're still, I saw they're still doing those. Like there's a new Super
Yeah,
Nintendo football hack that just came out with the 2020 rosters or whatever. It's like, yeah, I actually thought when I saw that release, I was like, oh, this has got to be a Genesis game, but no, it was Super Nintendo. But I guess they're big into that Super Nintendo. I forget which game it was.
if Konami, Konami don't have any idea, but one of the most sold games on Brazil on Super Nintendo is Ronaldinho Soccer 98. It's from the World Cup '98, and is a hack from International Superstar Soccer with the voices of the Brazilian narrators, every team updated, each cell like the water in the desert. Everyone
Ronaldinho 91. That's the
yeah.
hack name of
Is the hack name is a hack the hack name of the game, and when start the game you power up your Super Nintendo, the title screen, the announcer screams Ronaldinho 98 football.
Oh, 98.
It's amazing.
Wow, nice.
98. It's amazing hack. The people put a lot of love on this patch, and it comes until PlayStation 2. So people gonna making the same. So Brazil's crazy,
cool.
man. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm so glad we got a chance to talk to you. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I tried to get this scheduled. I wanted to do this to coincide with the release of the Special Champion Edition, but life got a little crazy and I wasn't able to schedule it. So I'm glad we were definitely able to do it, though. I've been holding off on a post about this until we were able to talk to you. You know, like I said before, Smoke and I are just such big fans of your work, and I'm so happy we finally got a chance to talk to you. And if anybody's listening on audio, Gabriel also has one of the awesomest shirts I've ever seen. I'm not even going to spoil it. You got to just at least check out the thumbnail to see what that is.
It's nice, man. Thank you.
I need a flying V in my background here. I'm the only one not sporting a flying V in my scene.
I'll send you one.
Yeah.
I had one at one point.
Nice.
Yes, man.
Stinger. Yeah, cool, man. It's awesome to meet you finally. I jump into your live streams and stuff sometimes. It's nice to talk to you in English because I'm always listening to you in Portuguese.
I try to follow your channel but the like I said, the hours not make it every time the fit your lives, etc. I follow Bob every week on the weekly updates. For me, it's a nice way to get updated about the news of the community. And the smoke making me sick because of him. I want to buy a Mister badly.
Oh, we can make that happen.
Oh my god, it's making me sick to.
We can
buy
get you, Mister. It's so much easier to ship to Portugal than Brazil too. If we want to get you on.
In your Discord, I found a good seller here in Portugal. His name is, I think it's Ricardo.
Ricardo, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. An amazing guy.
Yeah, I forgot he's right there for you. That's perfect. We just need to find a DE10 and you'll be ready to go.
Yes. So I'm very thankful to be here with you guys. A lot more if you enjoy my stuff, and I'm very happy because I don't know, got surprised that so much people are enjoying the Street Fighter Remastered, and well, guys, for everyone who listening to now, I think you play the game, enjoy, take some fun, take some fight with your friends, and enjoy on the Mega Drive or your emulator. I don't know, just play and have fun.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you very much, my friend. We'll definitely do this again at some point in the future.
Okay, and guys, sorry for my English. If I misunderstand something, if I misspell something.
You know, I was brought here
sorry,
just because you said you can't speak English so well. So I was supposed to be the translator, and I just sat here and didn't have anything to do. So
But,
your English is.
I don't speak well, man. I speak like a shit.
I understand.
I sound like a caveman in Portuguese, so you're beautiful.
but Portuguese is very complex. I don't know how. I think the Portuguese, Chinese, and Japanese, everyone who could speak it and is not native, I think it's people with a high level of skill because it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Thanks for having me on too, Bob.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You're
honored to be here.
You're always
Honored to be
welcome at
here.
all of
Love
these.
you guys.
So. Well, thank you both very much, and I'll talk to all of you soon.
Thank you, guys.